Hi, everyone. Jack, yes, we're live.
Hello, everyone. Hope everyone's doing great today. My name is Kathy. I'm from Team Cheeky. I'm here today with Jack and Asia. And today we're going to talk to you about LinkedIn and how incredibly important LinkedIn is for your job search.
Mhm.
We're just going to give you a taste of it during this video today, but we also want to let you know that we are hosting two LinkedIn webinars today at 1 p.m. and 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And we'll put the links to join the webinar in the comments here after we're done. So we wanted to use this time to really talk about why LinkedIn is so important, but also the mistakes that people can make on LinkedIn without even knowing it, especially when they're just getting started and even when they've had a profile for quite a while, a seasoned veteran of LinkedIn. So you guys can not make those mistakes because we really want you to be able to leverage your LinkedIn profile to get hired.
That's right. Learn from our mistakes. You don't have to make the same mistakes that we've made in the past and even in the not so distant past.
Exactly. So before I ask Asia and Jack any questions, I think it's important just to tell you guys how important LinkedIn is because you probably
Yeah.
hear about us talking about it. You hear it in blogs and you think, why are we harping on it so much? I think the latest stats said that there's over 460 million users on LinkedIn right now.
Yeah.
So over 90% of recruiters use LinkedIn for hiring purposes. It's literally your professional business card now.
Yeah.
So whenever you apply to a position, the hiring manager, the recruiter, your employer, they're going to look at your LinkedIn profile and see what you're all about. Not only that, but it's a great way to start networking. Um, I think there was a recent article out that said that over 35% of people that use LinkedIn find opportunities just through connecting with people. So not
Yeah.
even applying through jobs online, but just by connecting with people on LinkedIn and starting conversations.
Yeah.
So that's really how important it is. So you get noticed on LinkedIn, you find out about positions on LinkedIn, you network with people, and you get referrals on LinkedIn. So it's really the whole package for your job search.
That's right.
So that's why it's important. Let's talk a little bit about how it can go wrong so we can tell you how to do it right.
Yeah.
So Jack, maybe I'll start with you and you can tell us just some of the basics that we see PhDs do when they're getting started on LinkedIn, the common mistakes that we see.
Yeah, and Kathy, we get to talk to a lot of PhDs. There's over 4,000 PhDs in our network. And what I hear, you ask people, oh, have you got a LinkedIn profile? And they say, yeah, of course I do. But I want you to think right now, how much time do you actually spend on your LinkedIn versus your resume, versus your other business cards or anything else that you've done for your job search? How much time have you actually invested? Because I thought when I was doing my PhD, so I've got a LinkedIn profile. I've got it all filled in, and I had nothing on it. Um, there's so much more to your LinkedIn than just putting up, what your PhD is in, what university you're in, and small things can make a really huge difference. So there's one thing that if you put on your profile will increase the amount of views you get by 23-fold, and that's a location. Where are you looking for a job?
Yeah.
If you put down the word London or Paris or Boston or wherever it is, you will get 23 times more views.
It's
So
incredible.
it's unreal. It's that simple though. And we know that. And that's the sort of tips you're going to get later this evening, really in-depth things. Like other things you might not know is we talk a little bit about dwell time, and that's how long people spend on your LinkedIn profile. And the new ways they quantify this, it's so important to put in things like URLs. They all increase your dwell time. White space will mean that people will find it easier to read your LinkedIn profile, spend longer on it, and images, things like that. So there's very small things you can do that can really increase the visibility of your LinkedIn profile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe I just want to make a comment. I just, as I was listening to both of you just now, I realized with the stat of the number of people that are on LinkedIn, um, and thinking about how much commitment you should make to making sure that your LinkedIn profile is good. Think about it this way. you might get your resume into the hands of like 100 people or however many you are submitting online, because I know that you're still doing that, versus how many millions, how many hundreds of millions of people might actually have the opportunity to look at your LinkedIn profile. So, just that alone, and knowing that you're going to have that many more eyeballs on your LinkedIn profile should, I hope, encourage you to spend some very committed and strategic time on what your LinkedIn profile actually looks like.
Yeah, absolutely.
So do you guys want to hear some of the mistakes I've made?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Bring them
Some
on.
of you viewers out there want to know. I've made a lot of mistakes. I mean, frankly speaking, I think I've been on LinkedIn since like 2006 or 7, which is a long time. And, LinkedIn has changed a lot even since then. So the very first mistake I made, and I know we've talked about this before, is I had a profile picture where it was obvious that I had like cropped out a person's face that was right next to mine, right? I know you guys are doing that. Don't do that. It does not leave the right impression. It's not professional looking. And first and foremost, you need to realize that LinkedIn is a professional community. So you are going to be looked at. You are leaving an impression with things as simple as that Facebook, or that don't use your Facebook pictures where you're smushed up against somebody else, right? Like, use a professional photo. That's the very first mistake I made. And that's a very easy one to sort of change and rectify. So that you guys go do that now. Run and go get a decent photo. You can do it in front of the white wall in your house if you want to. That's fine. Okay, so that's the first mistake. But I would say there are some really kind of bigger mistakes that have larger implications maybe, which is that I just haven't nurtured my network as much as I should, right? So I have a couple thousand connections, maybe 3,000 connections at this point. When somebody connects with me, I need to make a more concerted effort, right, to build rapport. You truly never know who is going to give you the next opportunity of a lifetime, right? And I think that I was overthinking what that actually looks like. So one thing that I do is, of course, I'll connect with somebody, right? But if I see something in my feed where they've started a new job, where they've posted a new article, it's very easy to build rapport just by saying, congrats on that new job. I've been watching your career success. It's very exciting, right? Something like that is a very, very easy way to continue to nurture your network. So don't ignore the people that have been sitting in your network potentially for years. That's I think one of the biggest mistakes that I've made. And some of the other ones are, fixable as far as like a different picture, or ensuring that the things that I like, knowing that those are visible to the rest of my network. Whatever I like or I share is visible. So again, reminding myself that this is a professional network and you always want to put your best foot forward is really key.
And you can use it on a really positive way as well, Asia. Yeah. You can like and engage with more content and get yourself known as someone who knows about all the best articles and who people are keen to follow. So we see that all the time with associates, that they the more engaged they are, the more they say recruiters start coming to them and they start getting known among their network. So that's important too.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a great point. The only thing I'll add there is that, when you talked about connecting and then following up with somebody, and I think that's a really key point that Isaiah will talk about a lot tonight, and that's the difference between connecting and networking. Those are two separate things. You can connect with someone, and then networking is when you follow up with them, when you build rapport and you actually create a relationship, and that's really what you want to be doing on LinkedIn. So don't just send out the invitation and leave it at that. Think about how you can create a relationship with that person. Sharing content, congratulating them on achievements, all these sorts of things. Give their profile a glance. That's what it's there for. Yeah. And see what you can glean off of that to start building rapport with that person.
Yeah, I would say, like, don't assume. So you guys have all accomplished lots of great things. And so when you post something in your LinkedIn, right, that you've done and people congratulate you, it is a great feeling to be recognized, right? So don't assume that others don't like that as well. It's a pretty easy way to build rapport, at least at that initial stages. The other, maybe just one other mistake that I've made pretty frequently is not being proactive enough to take the conversation out of the internet and onto the phone or in person. So we know, and there's a lot of data to support this, that you're more convincing, you're more influential, you build rapport better, either face-to-face, whether virtually like this, I mean, this is still face-to-face, or, sitting at a coffee shop, right? So don't be afraid to try and take it out of LinkedIn. Start building rapport there, but don't be afraid to take it out of that and meet people in person or over the phone.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I think we really hit on the main points, which is really networking. And I love that Jack also mentioned engagement, because with the new LinkedIn algorithm, it's all about engagement. If you just have a very passive LinkedIn presence, no matter how many keywords you have in there, it's not going to be as visible as the person that's commenting, liking, posting, writing their own content. So really think about spending even 10 minutes, not even each day on LinkedIn, and seeing how that increases your visibility. It'll be really amazing to see.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Great.
let us know.
Yeah, and I hope we can see all of you on the webinar tonight.
Yeah,
it's at 1 p.m. and 9 p.m.
Yep, exactly. 1 p.m. and 9 p.m.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And by the way, I'll be on there with you guys. So please join me. I love these things because I see lots of light bulb moments, even within the chat box. So please join us. I'll be there with you. Obviously, Isaiah is going to be our main speaker, but I'll be with you in the chat box addressing your questions, and I would love to do so. I'd be honored to do that. So please join us.
Test Asia, just test her.
Now that you know the mistakes that I've made.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us.
Bye, guys.
Great.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.